Hi there, Lizelle singing coming at you from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm here outside of Settebello Pizzeria, which is one of the few places in the country where you can get authentic Napoli-style pizza. Now, the owner of this restaurant, Brad Otton, has been trained by third-generation pizza makers from Napoli. You might know him better, though, as a quarterback who led the Trojans to a 1996 Rose Bowl victory over the Northwestern Wildcats. So what else is he doing these days? Well, come join us inside and find out. So tell us a little bit about Settebello Pizzeria and how you got into the pizza-making business.
You know, I think it stemmed a lot from going to business school at USC. It got my, entrepreneurial blood going, so I just wanted to do something on my own. I was coaching football for a while and kind of fell out of love with that and the time away from family and that kind of stuff. So I was looking for something to do on my own, and had lived in Italy and was just thought this was a good fit for the market. There was nothing being done like this here in Las Vegas or really here on the West Coast much. So I just thought it was a good business to get into and decided it was something I wanted to do.
What makes a pizza here at Settebello different? I understand you make authentic Napoli-style pizza.
Basically, it's pizza that has been made just as it was invented back in the late early 1700s in Napoli, Italy. They were the first place where actually tomatoes and then cheese were put onto bread and cooked in a wood oven. And since then, everyone's got their own style. There's a New York style, there's Chicago style, there's even in Italy different styles. But the Napoli style is the true, authentic version as it was first created. And that's where I lived when I was in Italy. It was down by Napoli, so that was the pizza I was used to and fell in love with when I was living there. And it's what I wanted to recreate and bring to America. And there's a big chunk of Americans I think were looking for that authentic cultural experience.
You go through the process of exactly what goes into making this special type of pizza.
It's actually really simple. It's just flour, water, and salt, and fresh yeast is all we use for the dough. And then it's a long rise dough. It takes more than 24 hours to get our dough ready to use for pizzas. It's very soft. It's foldable. Most people are expecting kind of a crispy Domino's type pizza or something. It's nothing like that. It's a very soft, foldable dough. It's topped very simply with tomatoes from Italy, fresh mozzarella, and it's really important just to use the freshest, best toppings you can find to make a simple pizza.
Changing gears, going back a little bit in time, you were going to have a stint with the Washington Redskins, but were sidelined by a knee injury. Can you talk a little bit about how difficult that might have been?
Yeah, it sucked. It was, something where one morning I thought I was going to be playing football for the next 10, 12 years of my life, and then a couple doctors tell you you shouldn't be playing, and they tell the NFL doctors that you shouldn't be playing, and the next thing you know, it's I was having surgery trying to come back from something I wasn't expecting to have to go through. And, it was just a frustrating time for me, and I wish, I could go back and do it again and maybe try plugging away and having more surgery and trying to get myself fit to play. But at the time, I was just really frustrated by the injuries and the constant surgeries and rehab. And at the time, it seemed like the best decision to make to follow the doctor's advice and not play football anymore. But, as time goes by, you look back and you wonder what could have been if you just kept plugging away and trying. So it's a lesson I've tried to apply to the rest of my life, and I just keep, try and learn from the mistakes or the decisions you've made and keep going.
But you didn't immediately get out of football, and you actually got into coaching both at Cal State Northridge and at Santa Barbara City College. Is that right? And how did you enjoy that?
I loved it. I coached at Cal State Northridge and Santa Barbara City College with Jeff Kieran, who's now the head coach at he was at Brophy in Phoenix and is now, where's he at? Loyola. At Loyola High School there in L.A., and I loved it. And then I came here to Las Vegas. That's what brought me here to Las Vegas, was to coach at UNLV and the opportunity to coach with John Robinson, who I played for, and I couldn't pass up that opportunity. But just the difference between Division I and maybe a Cal State Northridge was just the constant time away from family. And then when John Robinson retired, of course, I was looking for a job again. And it just seemed like it was a time to get out and try and do something on my own, something where I could have a little more freedom and be around my family a little bit more. But I did. It's a very addictive occupation, and you wonder why people do it with the amount of time and effort they have to put into it. But it's the next best thing to being out there playing, and so it's addictive. But it was something I had to get away from for a while.
What did you coach when you were at UNLV?
I coached the quarterbacks here for a couple of years.
All right. You mentioned your family a little bit. How are Deanna and Camden and Brooklyn doing?
They're doing great. I got a daughter who just started kindergarten, and I got a 3-year-old who I swear is going to be a USC quarterback in about 15, 16 years.
Class of what?
Class of I don't know, but he'll be there. And so they're doing great. We're living here in Vegas and enjoying our time here, and I think we'd eventually like to get back to Los Angeles area, but for now we're enjoying our time here in the Las Vegas area.
You have a pizza business that's obviously doing pretty well. Do you ever think of getting back into coaching?
If I ever did, it would be more of a high school level, something, and probably not even like a head job, almost like a side thing, just to kind of keep me into it a little bit. I actually almost did it at a local high school here this year, but we were opening another pizzeria in Salt Lake, and so I just didn't have time to do it. But in the future, I wouldn't mind helping out at a high school somewhere just to stay involved, because it is great to not only be involved with football, but to stay involved with kids. I think it keeps you young and keeps you kind of on the edge of what's going on in the game.
Let's talk about the 1996 Rose Bowl victory over the Northwestern Wildcats, which is a pretty bright moment in the 1990s for the Trojans. You want to talk about how good it must have felt to guide them to such a strong victory?
It was great. That was a weird year where we were kind of like this year for SC. We were ranked number 1 going into the season, and just kind of hit a wall about mid-year and lost a couple of games we shouldn't have, and actually ended up losing our last game against UCLA. So it was a game that no one expected us to win. Everyone in that year was really on the whole Northwestern fairy tale bandwagon. So it was great to have our own city, and most of the city at that time was purple. Everyone was rooting for Northwestern, wanting Northwestern to beat us and to have us. We came out and probably played our best game of the year that game, and it was something I'll never forget. And I wish I would have enjoyed it a little more. I was probably like a lot of people and just thought we would have been back there the next year and the next year, and I didn't know that was my last chance to do it. So I wish I would have enjoyed it a little bit more, but it's something I'll never forget.
But the following year, you actually got to enjoy being the quarterback who led us as we snapped the 13-year losing streak to Notre Dame. How must that have felt for you?
Well, it's hard to believe now that we even had a 13-game losing streak to Notre Dame. But at the time, man, that was something that every year seemed to come up. And we quit after I think my sophomore year we tied. Our junior year we should have had probably our best team and got beat really bad there at Notre Dame. And it was something we were always questioning ourselves, and other coaches were questioning themselves what we needed to do differently to beat Notre Dame, because we just couldn't get it done. We had better teams than they did at certain years and just couldn't get a win on the field. And that year, the 96 game, actually they probably had the better team, and a win was going to put them in a BCS game, and we were pretty much all but done. That was going to be our last game. We weren't going to a bowl game. So to actually beat them and have it be my last game ever was incredible. It made me more exciting than the Rose Bowl, just to see the Coliseum. It was a night game, of course it was packed because it was Notre Dame, and to see the fans go crazy like they did and storm the field, probably the most exciting game I had when I was at SC.
Now, Set to Bella Pizzeria started out here in Las Vegas. Now you've opened up a sister restaurant in Salt Lake City, and you're also thinking of expanding into Los Angeles. How soon can Trojan fans expect to see Brad Otton Pizzeria out there?
As soon as I can. I think, we're never going to turn this into something. I don't want to be the next Domino's or the next Pizza Hut. I want to keep it very simple and manageable and make sure we're making a quality pizza that I can be proud of. But like I said, I think my family would really like to move back to Los Angeles area. And I think this type of pizza and this type of restaurant would do really well in some areas there in Southern California. So we've got a few more things to work out here in Vegas where I can leave and not have to be a part of the day-to-day operations. And then we're going to start looking for some areas, maybe Orange County or maybe in Pasadena or Hollywood areas where we can open one up. And that will probably be it. Just kind of relax, enjoy life, and run my business. One hand here, and the other hand doesn't pull it. Yes, one time for it, like that, and then bring it back in. Okay, just something like that.
That's as good as some of your passions, Brad, but, come on.
Now start doing with some attitude.
Right.
There you go. Put it in the middle. And this kind of moving around in a circle like you're a Zamboni driver. Push it around.
Zamboni?
Yeah.
I operated.
Okay, now get a little bit of the fresh mozzarella. That's that one.
There's so many different cuts. I'm sure that I can.
No, this is fresh mozzarella. It's been sliced and drained, so it's not too wet. You don't put too much on. Sure, just kind of sprinkle it on. A bit of olive oil. You ready to put it in the oven?
Yes, I would.
Huh?
Yes.
Here, hold this. Get on this side, Sarah, over by the oven. Hold that just like that. You ready? All right, go and put it in the oven.
All right. It's not in here. Anybody want to
If you
do
can
this?
reach the oven.
I can reach it. Not as tall as a USC quarterback, but I can still
Right,
do the top
uh,
level. Gary, you want to get that?
That was easy, right?
Yeah, that was really easy.
See, when that said, it'll only take about a minute. A little over a minute. Huh? Beautiful. Hopefully it doesn't break around your mouth. Now give us your Rachel Ray. Delish.
Delish. Very good. Very delicious.
You're about ready to work here.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Setabella Pizzeria in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we discovered that not only can Brad Otton help guide the Trojans to victories in the Rose Bowl and over the Fighting Irish, but he can also make a pretty darn good gourmet pizza. For Brad Otton, I'm Lizelle Sinkian, and you're watching WeAreSC.